Hello, so today I'm going to present you a project that we worked on in partnership with the OCA and OpenNet, which is called Empowering Odoo Users with Foundational Knowledge, an overview of what we did for e-learning. First, we're going to look at the objective of this e-learning program. We'll discuss about the benefits for the Odoo integrators and talk about the features. Then we'll look at the demo and discuss what the next steps could be. So, in terms of what we noticed is that we want to provide this essential Odoo knowledge to our users when we are implementing a solution. First, because from our perspective, it saves a lot of time repeating the same thing to the same people. And from a client perspective, this is something they will not have to pay us repeating the same thing to these same guys. So this is something we want our users to be doing before coming to the next steps when we start implementing the processes such as logistics, such as accounting or manufacturing, whatever, basically. We want these guys, these future users, first to perform this e-learning program. As I said, this is saving time, of course. And this is focusing us on delivering the training for the more complex processes and having, hopefully, the ones attending to this meeting being a bit more concentrated and not trying to say, but actually, how did he perform this filter or this grouping or whatever. So we are expecting the attendees to be a bit more focused on the processes. It's also interesting, we have started an implementation with something like 200 users, and it's quite powerful for us to be able to give this e-learning program, and then we know that all of these guys will be monitored by the client and the project manager on the client side, and make sure that all of the future Odoo users will perform this e-learning program. So in terms of features, I think it will be the application on the OCA, which has the smaller number of code lines. Actually, there is almost no code. It's only content that has been delivered. So it relies on top of the e-learning module, the classical e-learning module that you all know. And what we did is basically include all the videos, the talks, and the quizzes in order to have this e-learning module available for our clients. At this stage, this is the first version, so we are covering the basics of Odoo, like what is a form view, what is a list view, how do I filter, how do I group, how do I change the language. Very, very basic thing, but again, these are things that we notice. We were always repeating the same thing to some people. So this is why we did it. And there is an advanced one where we talk about mainly the custom dashboards and the way to perform some of the analytics, but also the advanced filters. So in order to implement this for your clients, there are two ways. Either you get the application and you install it within your Odoo client server, and then just train the project manager and explain him how to get all of the users from the client to subscribe to the modules and make sure that they will all perform the two paths of this e-learning module. Or you can create an account directly on the OCA e-learning platform, wherever you're coming from, and basically your clients will be able to to access to the e-learning platform. So let me show you how it looks like. So this is a regular Odoo. This is running, of course, on top of a community edition. So there are these two paths, as I was saying. At the moment, it's only French, as you noticed, but the English version is coming very soon. So this is like the basics, and this is the advanced part. And for each, so here I'm not connected. So for each of the course, there is always an intro, a video, and a quiz to make sure that the people understand what they have listened to. This is for the homepage, this is the list view, this is the form view, this is how you navigate, explaining the breadcrumb at the top left and going back and forth, some of the shortcuts also. This is with regards to the chatter and all of the discussion around it. This is for filtering, searching, and grouping. And this one is for all of our clients who are always creating new records when they fail to find the right client, for instance, or the right product. So how to manage deletion, creating new entities, or archiving and searching. And the other one, the advanced usage, so this is for analysis. The analysis module in Odoo, which gives you a lot of ways to report your data with all the graphs and so on and so forth. This is filtering and advanced grouping, and this is for the dashboarding. So if I connect with my user quickly, as I guess you all more or less know how it looks like, but just to show you one of the modules. So if I go here, there is the intro that quickly show what we are explaining, and then the video that is basically a YouTube video with the branding of the OCA at the beginning and at the end, and then the quiz. That's it. I will not show everything. Easier. So if you want to install it, you have this repo that is not yet pushed, but it's only the initiation. You can get the code from the pull request if you want to do so. And you will see that, as I said, there's almost no code. It's only content that is being pushed. And as soon as you install it, you have these two modules that are appearing, and then you can get your clients to subscribe to them. Okay. In terms of roadmap, as I was saying, we need to publish the English version, hopefully in the coming weeks. And then we will see if we have some other people interested in trying to translate it in other languages. We will wait a little bit to gather feedback and see if there is an interest or if it was only us who were interested in this module. And then we have to think about, do we want, for instance, all the finance processes to start being documented with small videos like this? Do we want the logistics? Do we want the human resources, and so on and so forth? Because there's a lot to say around all of these modules that we could, where we could save time with our users, but we need to see. That's it. Any questions?
Thank you. The video you made are based on which version?
This is a version 17, and part of the challenges, as you suggest in your question, would be to maintain it in the new version also. But we will see again, it will depend on the feedback. If there is any kind of interest, we will do our best to generate the videos with the new versions.
more than a question, is probably pointing something out. It would be interesting to have, so this is being published under the OCA. I think the expectation, maybe to you too, is that it will be a collaborative process beyond this. Like, for example, you could benefit, someone else from Spain contributed the Spanish version of it. So it would be interesting to have like some guidelines on the project, README on how to coordinate around this, because there's some production effort behind it and maybe some guidelines like use proper microphones or like some guidance. So it's a suggestion to add a bit more on the main repo, some ideas, suggestions, or before you start, open an issue, maybe that you want to do this, making sure no one else is doing at the same time. Something, so yeah, things like that.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good idea. We didn't think at it, and yeah, we need to document this, because it would be great if we could have people around the world creating these videos. We could put the outro and the intro that has been done, that has been financed by the OCA, so that actually you are more or less autonomous in any country if you want to translate it in German, in Spanish, in whatever language. Yeah.
Thanks. I was thinking, because we have these kind of videos, they are also on Odoo on the tutorials, and I was thinking what would be the difference. From what I see, the problem with the video from Odoo is that they are based on enterprise, and so many things inside they don't apply when you have a customer with a community edition. But also it's I mean, every time we install, for instance, web responsive, we install, so the interface is not quite the same. And I'm not sure if it's the purpose. So here it's quite simple topics that you presented. So I'm not sure if it's not redundant also with what exists already in Odoo, and maybe that's a question, probably you know. And but also I was thinking, would it make sense, because when you say accounting, it's accounting with which modules, which that's I think the difficult part, because you have a lot of possibilities, and so whether it will be maybe one video per module, or I don't know what could be the strategy around that.
Yeah, that's why we didn't start with the flows, because we knew this was the easy part. I have no clue what we would do for. Again, we were talking about accounting, but logistics and all of these modules will be more complicated. To answer to your first question about the existing Odoo videos, this is a question that we have been asked a lot of time, but actually what we noticed is that in these videos, first, it's enterprise, as you said, but it's also more like some of the wow effects, some super commercial videos. And what we also noticed is that there are like 50% of the video that the people don't care. You don't really care about how to create a new database. You are within a client and you have some like 10 people to train. If you will not create a new database, they don't care about this. So we did really focus on, from a client perspective, what is needed for these guys to be able to be performing well when they will work on their flows, so to say. Virginie, something to add? No?
Just information that we will publish a blog post later this afternoon. It's scheduled. So there will be a blog post explaining a bit the project, and we will promote it on social media. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and so we are waiting for more contribution. And so it's a good point to get guidelines to how to coordinate with others. It's
Community versions and enterprise versions available and install
Okay, so I hope it's the start of, because it's also a question, is the OCA for end customers or for integrators? And I think it's also a first step to see that, to test, is it useful for also to make some content aimed at final customers and see if there is good feedback from the integrators who will use it. So yeah, that's what I like about this project. It's for the OCA, it's a small project because you did all the work. It's a big project for you, but it was quite a quick process that you contacted me, and we made it in a few months, and so let's try and see how it goes.
There's something, it could be an important detail. I think we discussed that among the board when this initiative was discussed, is the branding aspect. It's something we had some strong opinions on that earlier, yesterday on some discussions. So this is to be shared, and so if I'm a company, suppose we're not really, but I'm a competitor of you, I also want to contribute and collaborate on this platform. It's important for me when I put these videos in front of my customer, it doesn't go with your company logo. So it's kind of, on one hand, you're putting the effort and you're making this, so you feel you deserve. I didn't notice if it's there. Maybe it's not, if this is an issue, but I think as a general, we have this general in the OCA, and here it's also important, the content there should not be specifically branded on the video content and on the content. I don't know if this is a point of disagreement or if it's okay, or your opinion on this.
I think having attending to the presentation yesterday evening, it's maybe a more global point, right, of how do you want the contributors to be visible, and is this a problem for me if there are 10 new companies who want to contribute and to provide super nice content? Will it be a problem for me to say, okay, this is whether else that you will follow the training from? To me, it's not a problem, but then if it is decided at the OCA that we want to remove all of the companies' names, I guess it would, branding, I guess it would be fine, but I have no real opinion, to be honest. Yeah. We can talk about it, there's no problem.
Yeah, it's just like yesterday, for example, we discussed allowing adding logos for the authors of proposed modules, and there are strong opinions against that. So on the other hand, it's not stripping the names. We want to make sure people are recognized for what they contribute. It's that it needs to be in a way that it's, because at some point, a bit of what we're doing when we're publishing a model in dossier, we're kind of donating it to a larger community. So it's not only ours, now it belongs to a larger group of people that collaborate, add on it, and so this can be a sensitive point for people. I'm just pointing this out, right?
I would say we will follow what the OCA is deciding to be the most powerful, to have more and more contributors. Whatever you decide, we will follow the logic. The idea is to promote.
For end users, from the module. So I think it's quite different here, having the logo on the video, that is for end user, from what will be used by integrators in the README of the code. So it doesn't have the same audience. But the topic is still relevant in both cases.
We need to make sure it's well.
All good?
I was just wondering what is the main effort of continuing. You spoke about HR, maybe we could think about inventory, etc. Do you have already some scripts or anything, and how people can contribute? Do you have any things to accelerate the contribution?
To be honest, we don't really have a plan at the moment, so in the roadmap, it was waiting to see the feedback. That is the first milestone, which is an easy one to achieve. And yeah, if people pushing, we will document whatever is needed for anybody to be able to contribute to any type of module. The first one we are thinking is finance, which is maybe not the easiest because there are so many possibilities to implement it. There's a lot of differences by country also. So I don't know is the answer, to be transparent. Merci. Thank you.